Okay, so what we're gonna do is, go through the book
Mhm,
again. Mark Minervini Trade Like a Stock Market Wizard. So,
mhm,
like we start last week with the forward from David Ryan, and let me jump to so chapter one is very general stuff. Um, Basically, it started off with on page one it talks about like develop your mindset, emotional discipline needed to win big in the stock market, and a desire to succeed in winning strategy. On second page, um, he talked about how if even if I had not become rich from trading stocks, I would still be doing it today. For me, trading isn't a sport or just a way to make money. Trading is my life.
mhm,
That's very interesting, right? And then the third paragraph there or second paragraph, it talks about super performance stocks. There's a big difference between making a decent return in the stock market and achieving super performance, right? And that difference can be life changing. So we're gonna try to focus on that a lot today, um, because if this is a true bull market, like we want to find the super performance stocks and hopefully
mhm.
be able to trade and hold on to those gains and let it grow. At the bottom of the page, dedication and desire to succeed are definitely requirements to achieve super performance in stocks. On the next page three, over the years I've read incredible number of investment books, including more than 1,000 titles in my personal library alone. He also talked about most of them are not useful for him, but sometimes he'll read a book and we'll talk. I think later on he talks about it again. He'll read a book and then something didn't pop, but then eventually he'll read some other book that even years down the road, and then someone said the same thing, and then it just pop up, and then he'll go back and reference those books and see what the common traits. Especially he talks about the common traits of super performance stocks. At the bottom, finally, I come to realize what I'm most passionate about was freedom. Freedom to do what I want, when I want, and where I want. And I think for me, that's for sure what I enjoy about trading is personally, I feel the same thing. Like he talked about how this is the best business opportunity in the world, right? Where you control everything you do. Next page for achieving the best of both worlds. My style is to pre second paragraph down. My style is to be progressive and pursue a potential reward. At the same time, be extremely risk conscious. So, for example, like ask the questions like how much can I lose, not just how much can I gain, right? So always ask that question first. Um, at the bottom, he talked about his championship title in 1997. My approach also proved invaluable when I needed the most, cashing me out ahead of 8 bear markets, including two of the worst decline in U.S. stock market history. By adhering to disciplined strategy, I was able to accomplish the most important goal of all, to protect my trading account and keep the profits I made during the previous bull markets. Like this is, I think, you know, um, if you want to build wealth, this is why he was able to build wealth. Is he was always able to manage his risk, especially into a bear market, and that's why, does really well. Last week there's a like I was gonna send you a video about Charles Harris,
Mhm.
that he did an interview recently. It's a really good interview, but I just watched it last weekend, so I didn't really have time to absorb it yet. Um, if I'll send you the link to it, but if you have time, watch it. And then
Sure.
maybe if I still want to study that video more before I talk about it here. But one of the problems that Charles Harris, he's a great super trader, right? The problem with Charles, he's always give it back, and he keeps saying how he learned his lesson over and over again. So, and that's one thing I find the difference between him and Mark Minervini, where Mark Minervini is, more risk, approach, and whereas Charles is more, more aggressive in trying to win more money, right? So I think there's a balance there. Like depends what you want to do. He obviously go through more boom and bust cycle in his portfolio. Uh, but I feel like Mark Minervini does it better in terms of risk management. And again, he also talked about how he can be super aggressive as well. Page 5, invest in yourself. Most people have natural tendency to overestimate what they can achieve in the short run and underestimate what they can accomplish over the long haul. So he talked about how people think they have made a commitment, but when they run into difficulty, they lose steam or quit. The difference between more interest and commitment is the will not to give up. When
Mhm.
you truly commit to something, you have no alternative but success. So that line right there is very important. I feel like you know that's what successful people think, right? Like that's how they think is they never give up, right? You know, as long as it's a reasonable goal, and so getting interested will get you started, but commitment will get you to the finish line. The next part, when opportunity meets preparedness, he was always like he said here. People always hear my success story, and they always ask, "How did you do it? Did you just get lucky?" The assumption is that I must take a lot of big risks or been lucky along the way. On the next page, he talked about by 1990, I was fully equipped to take advantage of the new bull market. So, in the previous years, he talked about how he has been honing his skills and so forth, right? So, in the bull market is when, he starts to shine for sure, because he's really good at finding super performance stuff. Um, he also say, at the bottom, so prepare, 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 because when opportunity knocks, it will definitely will, and you want to be there to answer the door, right? Uh,
Mhm.
so this next part I also feel is kind of important. Sees permanent knowledge. Just as you cannot learn to ride a bicycle from a book, the only way you can accumulate experience is by taking action, producing results, and then learning from those results, good or bad. So basically, this I think it applies to new investors as well as regular investors. He also next page put passion at the wheel. He talked about Michael Jordan had passion for the game. They're not motivated by just money, but above all by their passion to become the best they can be. Um, and then the highlight section for me, the greatest success came when I finally decided to forget about the money and concentrate on being the best trader I could be. Then the money follows. So this remind me of last week when we talked about like
Mhm.
measuring your trades, not so much like how much you make or how much you lose. More importantly, like how are your trades doing, right? Just kind of you know, like a sports player would do. They measure like how well they hit or how well they shoot, stuff like that. We're going to skip to next page 8, time to share. You may wonder why I choose to write this book now, but perhaps my work could make a difference for someone else. Perhaps that someone is you. And then on the last page 9, over the years I have accumulated a treasures chest of knowledge and expertise. I came to realization that it would be waste to let it just fade away. Books written by great traders provide me with a foundation to build on, a passing of the torch, I might say. Similarly, I would like others to benefit and advance from my work. And then it says, for me, it has proved to be the greatest business opportunity on earth. To realize profits from investing in stocks, you must make three correct decisions: what to buy, and when to sell. So that's chapter one knowledge. Wait, sorry, chapter one about introduction, and
Mhm.
uh, I'm gonna skip chapter two. We'll come back to it next week just because of time. Um, I just start reading chapter three, just the first couple of pages, and I just wanted to point out because I think it's relevant to what we talking about today. Uh, Page 27, chapter 3. When stocks are trading near their historic lows, I figured it had to be bargains. I didn't have much success with that approach. So he talked about how he analyzed stocks at the beginning, and when stocks hit 52-week high list, he realized they skyrocket even higher in price. What differentiate the high flyers from the duds? Is there a way to identify big winners before they become big winners? So that's what he's focusing on in this chapter, right? It's about um, finding the big winners, and he talked about how he went to the library and photocopy entire books in the past when he was, trying to learn stuff. So that really, to me, that takes a lot of dedication to learn stuff, right? Back in the days, there's no digital stuff. So page
Mhm.
28, the beginning of the turning point. So here he talks about um, how he read a book Richard loved super performance stocks back in the 62 to 76. He he was focusing on the stock characteristics of stocks that went up a minimum of 300% in the 2 year period. He called them super performance stocks. Um, and he said how Love's approach caught my attention. I wasn't sure exactly how to use it in my own trading, and it got tucked away. And in 1988, he read an article from Financial Analyst Journal, The Anatomy of a Stock Market Winner. And the article talked about stocks that went up a minimum of 100% in the current calendar year. And that was by Mark Reingham. From 1970 to 1983, he explored 222 stock market winners. And so he learned there's a partial overlap between those two and two people that learned about those super performance stocks. And then at that time, they realized they were focusing on stocks that make the biggest gains to identify the characteristics that account for their stellar performance. And then on page 29 in the middle, he talked about the convince part of three empowering points. So the 3 points there's a right time and wrong time to buy stocks. Stocks with super performance potential are identifiable before they increase dramatically in price. And number three, by correctly investing in these stocks, it's possible to build a small amount of capital into a fortune in a relatively short period. So that's the end of today's review on the book. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and that last part, like I said, it's very important. I just read it this morning, and I thought, hey, it aligns well with today's topic. Is if there is a true bull market, if this is currently becoming a bull market, how are we going to find those super performance stocks? How do you want to trade around it? All that stuff, right? So we want to kind of build on that momentum because, yeah, if this is a new bull market, you definitely don't want to miss those super performance stocks. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Before we start, do you have any other questions?
No, nothing. No, we can get started.
Yeah, that's a lot of review on Mark Minervini. Um, right now, I still think we are in the bull market, at least the beginning of it. And you can see my screen. Oh, no, not yet. Let me share it. Sorry. Give me one sec. Okay. Let me know when you see it.
Yeah, I can see.
Okay. So I'm going to jump to Nasdaq just because we talked about last week. If this is a true bull market, we're going to see Nasdaq and Russell 2000 lead. And obviously this week, we had a pullback week, and we have 5 weeks up on Nasdaq, and then now we have this down week, right? Obviously the big trend, and I'll just draw a quick line here just to show. We have this big downtrend, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then now we have this uptrend. So obviously we've broken the 200-day. So this is where a lot of people kind of give up on their short position, at least start to give up. Um, and now we are clearly above the 200-day. So that's very important. We are above 200-day. This is the line here, and we don't want it to go back below 200-day, right? Um, if it does go back below it, I would say then there's a high chance it might want to test the lows, um, which is around this level right here. Um, but we don't want to see that, and I don't know if it will happen. It could happen, um, just because the reason why I say it could happen is because next we talked about this last week. The next quarter earnings, like this quarter earnings, are almost getting to the end. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
still going to be stocks reporting to the end of the month, but like there's not many stocks that will influence the market in general. So I think most of that, like I think 75% of S&P reported, and oh no, I don't remember. No, sorry, that's the wrong stat. I don't know how many reported, but it's quite a lot. At least 50%. But the stat was that more than 75% beat their earnings. That was quite an incredible stat to me. I was like, wow, really? Wow, that's
Hmm.
crazy. Now, most of those earnings aren't good, but at least they beat it, right? And I was like, oh wow, okay. So that's a good sign. Um, it's normal for a market to pull back after this much 5 weeks of gain and come back 1 week. So I think next week will be critical, because and we know what's going to happen next week. CPI data will come out on Tuesday, and I think that will influence the market one way, big for sure. Whether it will continue to go down, like I think that report will influence it. But then the question is what will happen after, right? I don't think, um like, so here's the number now. 6.2 is what they're expecting. Last month was, the one before was 6.5. So it's slowly, it's starting to come down. So if even if it meets 6.2, I think the market will rally. We don't want to see anything above 6.2, then that means that, um the Fed will probably keep their rates longer. And we talked about this last week that, based on the market futures, the market sees a decrease by November, right, in the rate hike, in the rate interest rate. So we want to continue with this story, and that's the momentum we're building on. And so if it goes above 6.2 and inflation is higher, then, uh, obviously, market is going to take a bad turn for this. Now, whether it will
Hmm.
last more than 1 or 2 days, I don't know. Um, because I think that at the end of the day, um, at least based on a lot of stats I read, especially from Tom Lee, but then, he's a little bit biased on the bull side. Um, a lot of he always talk about how, he look at, like, I think there's over 100 indicators on the CPI, and each of those, he said that over 50%, 54%, the last time he posted something was 54% of them are in deflationary mode, which means like they're not even going up in prices, but they're actually going down in prices. So,
Hmm.
um, and then, a lot of people talk about the last one to really, which is a big weight in the index, is the housing, especially like rent costs. And they're saying, that, that's kind of like what Professor Siegel is saying, how it continue, like it's gonna keep dropping fast because of house costs, because the numbers they use in the CPI is lagging, by 6 months or something. I don't know how to measure this, but anyhow, that's what he said. So if they're right, if Professor Siegel and Tomney, those bull case is right, then this number should at least meet this target, and therefore market will continue to rally, right? Um, because everything has already been expected. There's going to be at least two more hikes. Right now, there's some concern about June, whether there will be another hike. So that would be another quarter point. If that happens, then, you know, but again, we're near the end here, right? We're near the end of the
Hmm.
road. And as time progresses, it's actually more favorable to the bulls than the bears because of this, right? Because the time, like there's an effect here, which is, we near the end. But then yesterday I was listening to CNBC analysts saying, oh, the market has never bottomed before the Fed stopped hiking rates.
Hmm.
That's a very interesting statement, and I think I've seen that many times now. That statement, and I'm pretty sure it's a fact. If so many people talk about it. So, but this time, again, we're gonna look at the chart in a second. But we go back. It bottomed in October, right? Um, so that's why, you see all my time frames. I put from October low here. So this is the low. The question is, um, a lot of people don't, still a lot of people believe we are in a bear market rally. So it will come back and test this low, right? Um, I don't know. I personally think it's hard. That's just my own opinion. Just because, a lot of stocks now are building bases, right? And when stocks start building bases, it's like there's a momentum there, a technical momentum, and it's hard for it to reverse, right? But, I don't want to say, yeah, how do you say, this won't happen. There's always a chance that this happens, like if something negative really bad happened in the marketplace. But until that happened, I don't know what it could be. Like maybe like I said, maybe inflation doesn't come down. Then that is a huge problem, right? But right now the expectation is that inflation is coming down. or maybe there's some geopolitical tension between China and US or some other countries that's going to spur up, that's going to cause another leg down, possible. So there's a lot of macro stuff that can happen that we don't know whether it will happen. But right now, based on what we know today, my expectation is it will continue the momentum, right? Um, does that make sense?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So for me, I actually take this as an opportunity. Like I say, I miss a lot of the, good stocks. I'm taking this opportunity to study those stocks, right? And so when the market pull back, most stocks will pull back. Most growth stocks will pull back, and it's the best time to study them at this moment. Usually, a lot of people study them when they're like in strength, but honestly, you want to study the stocks that are in like during weak times and see how they act. Because the better they act during the weak times, is most likely they're gonna be the leader. And just like in the bear market, right? When you're trying to figure out whether which stocks gonna lead the next cycle, the ones that come out first tend to lead, right? Um, so just like right now, we are on our first pullback since this uptrend. We really want to study most stocks. The good stocks are already in the big uptrend. So the question is, which ones are you gonna put your money into, right? There's so like I honestly say there's quite a bit. Um, a lot of them I find are smaller caps, which is interesting. Um, so like definitely newer names. One area I think chip stocks did really well. There's lots of leaders there. But anyhow, we're gonna jump into that for sure. Um, but I just want to finish about talking about index. Let's see. Let's see what's in my notes here. Uh, yeah, so we're gonna talk more about like finding possible best leaders. This is the best time to find it. And then you have to kind of ask yourself, I think this is a very important question. How are you going to trade those stocks, right? How are you going to handle them? Are you going to trade them for short-term gains, or are you going to, hold them for longer gains? And it's in chapter two in Mark Mini book. We'll probably go through it next week. But one thing he talked about is you have to decide, right? You can't think about short-term gains and long-term gains at the same time. It is impossible. You have to decide what you prefer, and either way you can make money. But it's just that obviously, if the market run wild for long term, holding it for long is obviously the best way, right? But if you think the market is going to be choppy this year, and in this bull market, like just because it's a bull market doesn't mean it'll go up smoothly, right? It can be chopping up as it goes, and that comes back to like if I go back to the right here, right? Just like as a bear market goes down, it can chop up pretty crazy, right? So like every bounce here is pretty big. Just like if it goes up, it's big in the bull market, it can go down really big too. So, but doesn't mean it's not a bull market, right? Like it could be like this. So, um, but so that's why it's not easy, right? Um, your style is very important in determining your success in the future. So you have to decide upfront how you're gonna trade those leading stocks, even if you find them. So come back to what to buy. Okay, we're gonna find the best leading stocks, and then you're gonna figure out when to buy, what is the best point to enter so you don't get knocked out. Um, and then how do you actually like the other things like how do you add to it, right? How do you add more shares as it progress, and then how do you hold it? How do you and then eventually where do you want to sell? You want to sell at 10-15% profit, or do you want to sell it at 50 to 100% or more profit? Like what's your strategy around that? So you have to get ready for those things. Look for low volume pullback. So that's what we talked about that earlier. We're going to look at some stocks. Uh, here, just I didn't make too much notes this week. I think I forgot to. Uh, so Joe Tarantino, he's a contributor on CNBC. I like that guy. He's pretty honest about what he does, and he's pretty transparent. He talked about corporate buybacks could be a huge thing going forward for this year, and we've seen a lot of announcements so far that stocks, companies want to buy back their stock. And we also heard from Biden's administration that they want to tax corporate buybacks, but I heard it's going to be not gonna go through. I don't know. So, but anyhow, I think if that is true, then market has a long way to go, because if companies are gonna buy back their stocks, usually that's a good sign for their stock. Um, Eric Jensen, I don't remember this guy, but I've seen him before. I just don't remember until now. But he mentioned something very interesting. He talked about how in 1982 timeframe, the last big inflation, when the CPI dipped below 6.6%, the market had a 10-month rally where Nasdaq doubled. Okay, I was like, oh, really? So I went and looked at it, and I'm gonna jump to this date here. See if I can pull it up quickly. Um, and see if that works. And then I'm gonna go to Nasdaq, and I'm gonna go to daily chart. So here's the run. So here's the bottom, August
Right.
82. It was around 158. It topped at 329 in 10 months.
Wow.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of this. So, he made a lot of money this year. Obviously, I think he lost a lot of money last year. Because he invests in a lot of art type of stocks, and he made 40% in January. So that's quite impressive. And he talks about how he believed this is the big run. Like, I don't know if this one. Honestly. This is quite a really interesting run in such a short time frame. It did fall apart after though. So, like, is this possible? Yeah, why not? Like, I'm not saying it'll gain 100%, but it could gain 50%, right? Like a big gain, like 30, 40, 50%. Why? Because so I'm just laying this out because I feel like we have to be open-minded, and we have to like understand um, what's the storyline right now. The storyline this year, well, last year was because the Fed was fighting inflation. Fed was fighting inflation, so they're going to keep raising rates, keep raising rates. And you know what? As the new year starts, what was the storyline? Oh, we might have a soft landing, right? We might. No one knows, okay? We might, but that's going to take some time to figure out. So now the storyline becomes, hey, everyone is like being optimistic right now, and that's why some analysts are very bearish, because they like right now is already near like 18 and a half or times S&P earnings for the year. Like that's a high number, right, in terms of evaluation. So if we are going into recession, how is that possible? Every recession always like the evaluation would be like closer to like 14 or even below 15 for sure. So, but right now we're at 18. So 18 times, over 18 times. Um, and so that's the bear analyst case, right? Like Eric Johnston and stuff. But
hmm
why, like I said, why I find this interesting again. I don't see him on CNBC a lot, Eric Jackson, but I think he's been on many few times. But I find this snap very interesting because this again, if you look further down, I think like let's say go down to say April 84, I think we will see the top. Oops, crap. Uh, sorry, let me a second to put it back up. Yeah, what I was gonna say is, I think they start to go back down, for a little bit. Not, I don't think a long time. But let me just pull to the end of the year. Okay, this is 1982. 82. That's the when the run starts. 83. Okay, yeah, it did go down a longer downturn actually. I don't know how far it goes. Yeah. So, but that run was significant, 100% gain, right? I don't know how long this lasted. Maybe in let me try 84 here. Yeah, there you go. Still, so they bottom in July. So, so, so I think it went for another 10 months downturn. That's interesting. It's crazy how volatile back then. Um, I don't know the fundamentals, but I guess what I'm trying to say is, yeah, so it did go for a long time. Like, yeah, so it went up 10 months and then it went down 10 months. That is pretty crazy. So is this possible? Yeah, why not? So again, what is the storyline? Fed fighting interest rate last year, so
Mm-hmm.
rate hikes continue. But this year, everyone thinks it will stop because of this soft landing. So now we're on the bullish cycle, right? We're like, hey, everyone's optimistic now. But who knows? By October or September, maybe, let's say, it's going to take some time, probably by summertime. So a lot of analysts say summertime they will know, like June, July, whether how hard this recession will be, especially this next quarter, right? It's significant. Um, I don't know, maybe it takes more time because the economy is really strong. The funny thing is, yesterday CNBC was talking to I can't remember the company that does hiring, uh, and they're saying how all the tech workers are laid off. Most of them find a job within 2 months. And not only that, here's the crazy part. 42% of those people, again, this is based on a survey, obviously we don't know the true number.
Mm-hmm.
42% of those people got higher wages.
Oh wow.
Yes. That shows how strong the economy is right now in the US. Like I really believe that's strong. Wow. Like, not only are they able to find jobs within 8 weeks, they're able to get even higher salary. That's amazing. So I think um, I think this is a good sign for the short term. Again, no one knows the future. I think we'll have to reevaluate as time goes on. But I think again the storyline is pretty clear right now to me. Last year, market doesn't like it because Fed will keep raising rates, and we don't know when the end is. But this year, we starting to see inflation come down since October or something, really hard. Right? October, November, December, right? Apparently, it's been 6 months of data now that has gone down. Um, so from 9 point something percent, right, to all the way to now 6 point last time 6.5. So it's been going down for 6 months now, and just like this guy say, when it dipped below 6.6 in 82, that's when the market rallied like crazy. So that's why I feel like this is again, we just want to be open to possible things. That what if this is going to be like this? We have a strong rally that no one believed will happen, and then we have a big downturn after that. It's possible too, because maybe the recession it will come, but it
Mm-hmm.
come at a later date, right? So be open-minded and just follow the trend right now. Um, and yeah, make money. Again, coming back to that quote from last week, it's more important to make money than it is to be right. Follow the market trend. So that's where I stand in terms of my thinking right now. And manage your risk, right? Like here's the thing, if you manage your risk, and this is where I think most people suffer during volatility times, is they don't manage their risk well, and then you give up big losses, right? Um, and then it's hard to make money, like be on the positive on your portfolio if you give up bigger losses. Um, so um, yeah, I'm just trying to see if there's any big news coming out this week other than there's housing numbers here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think the big one, there's leading economic indicators. This one is also important. Um, but yeah, there's import price index. But yeah, I think the big one is CPI on Tuesday. So let's come back to the chart, like the daily, because we're going to look at daily. Reset this for a second. Okay. So I think where people got stuck, and I think everyone felt the same way, was on Tuesday after the Fed talk. Um, things got bullish after that, right? And everyone got trapped here. And then Wednesday it fell apart. Thursday is when for me in my portfolio, I felt that stocks start to fall apart.
Mm-hmm.
Friday it continues almost the same momentum, at least for Nasdaq type of stocks. But S&P and Dow surprisingly was positive, right? So you can see Nasdaq was below the 10-day, S&P below 10-day, but it's not a very, even though it bounced back, the problem is that it's still below 10-day. Um, so it could be just again another trap here, um, which really sucks. Because here's the thing, right? It's like here's the top. Look at this reversal, making lower highs, and same thing
Mm-hmm.
here on Thursday, right? Morning it was up and then it reversed. That's a lot of reversals in like 6 sessions. And
Right.
then now this one is like really small range and it's below 10 day. That's not good. So there's a high chance that if we fail this 10 day to come back to 10 day above it, not only will we pass 21 day, which is really close by, it'll probably hit the
Mhm.
50 day. This is trending up right now. And that's where I think for sure I would expect a bounce here. If you don't see that bounce, then yeah, we're going much lower. But this is
Mhm.
where my current expectation is. Like most likely, I don't know. Like I said, either hold the 21 day, which is very important. So we come back to Nasdaq. Um, the IBD talks about a power trend. The power trend is when the stock is an uptrend and also above 21 days. So that's what happened here. Um, sorry, my screen is frozen a little bit here. Um, yeah, so the power trend is like from here, it bounced above 21 day. It's been above it for 10 days now, and so they call that a power trend. So we're very close to it. We hope it don't break this, and if it does, we'll lose that power trend because power trend means like stocks are gonna move pretty fast. Um, but here's the 50-day line. So those are the two critical lines I'm looking at from Nasdaq. If we go to Russell for a second, I think Russell is the weakest right now. It's the one that's below. Let me take out my markers here. Yeah, it's already hit 21 day on Friday, but it did bounce back above it. Again,
Mhm.
I think they all react the same. It's just a matter of like, are we gonna go to 50 day or not? That's the big question. Um, and if it does go to 50 day, that's a pretty significant drop here. So we have to watch out for this. That's the risk in the short term. My hope is that it will bounce on CPI data on Tuesday. I think Monday will be a wash day. Nothing much will happen. But Tuesday morning, when it comes out, the market is going to move big one way or the other, right? And so if it's a bad report, it will go down to 50 day, and then it will test the 50 day and 200 day here too. Very close to it. Those are the risks, near-term risks. Um, yeah, see, S&P, same thing, very close, 50 day and 200 day. Those are should be support line from now. If we're in the true bull market, it should never go down. If it goes down below here, I would like definitely not be buying stocks. Um,
Mhm.
but I
Yeah.
think in the meantime, again, we'll look at some stocks right away. In the meantime, I think like a lot of stocks are setting up right now. Um, but okay, that's it for index. Any other questions?
No. Hmm.
Oh
That's
yeah,
clear.
Nasdaq, everyone's looking for the golden cross, but
Hmm.
obviously it didn't happen because stocks are falling again. But that's a really bullish momentum if that happens. So here's the 50-day,
Hmm.
it's trending upward. Here's the 200-day trending downward. So
Right.
like based on this extrapolation, probably like by end of the month for sure, we will know. But for that to happen, I think the stock has to bounce. It has to bounce somewhere here soon. Otherwise, yeah, the 50-day won't come out as fast. So, but that will be super bullish, right? If that happens. That will be the next big bullish momentum. Um, yeah, so this is just a recap of what happened. Really, the big day was Tuesday. You know, and again, that was a trap for most stocks. Um, yeah, we're gonna look at. I spent a lot of time yesterday making sure I have my list up to date. So this is the um, Q1 quarter list. I kind of stopped looking at the old list now, the move list,
Hmm.
because there's so many stocks that have reported. There's still some good leaders that haven't reported yet. It won't be on this list,
Hmm.
but I'm more focused on the ones that have reported. So I just not saying that all leaders they won't do well, like, but it's just too many stocks to look at anyway for me. So I just feel like it's okay. So Miniso, have you heard of Miniso?
Oh no, I know the store. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a small cap stock.
Hmm.
1 million shares a day trading, almost 5 billion cap. It's been on a tear uptrend.
Wow.
Profit is starting to rise here. Sales are kind of weak though. I don't know why, but the market didn't care. So it could be that they're expanding really fast. It just have lots of, I don't know. I don't know why the sales not rising. That's weird. Um, that's probably one negative for me. But it's like I say, it's a very small cap, and like I say, I find a lot of small caps are leading. This uptrend, pretty strong. Most pullbacks are quite. You see how this pullback is so sideways rather than straight down.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's what you want to see. It bounced off 10-day here, and even this one, it fell below 10, 21 day, but it's more of a sideways action than a sharp drop. Lots of blue bars. You can see lots of blue bars. All the high ones are blue bars. That's all the accumulation happening. So this is retail, right? So um, we can take a quick look. Just I don't think anything has changed. I think the consumer discretionary is unbelievably strong. So let me just pull it up real quick. List here, sectors, and then we're gonna change to this year. So most have come back down, but let's see who's at the top here. Communication service still the top. Retail, see, retail is number two now, or number three. Consumer discretionary, right? So that would be kind of consumer discretionary. So that's still the number one sector this year, and technology is like in the top four. So yeah, so those are the four you want to look at: retail, discretionary, communication service, and technology. Those two. So tech and retail, basically in general. Those are the top two sectors. So this is definitely in sorry, coming back to Miniso. This is in consumer discretionary. Um, and yeah, so I think it's doing well. Number one on the list. Okay, so ALGM, I really like ALGM. Like let me jump to ALGM. Sorry, I didn't ask you. Did you have any stock you want to look at before we look at this list? We can do that too.
I really like SMCI also,
Hmm.
and yeah, nothing. Yeah, I traded that last week. Uh,
Okay,
wow.
ALGM. So this is a sharp drop here. We also have like this is the handle pattern. Um, it bounced back. It fell apart again. Or it tried to break out right here. It fell apart, and that was the last time. That was the last shakeout.
Hmm.
And 21 day was where it found support. And if you miss it on this breakout right here, that's it. Like it has taken off. Now it's starting to pull back. Like look at this last week, right? Look at what it's doing. It's like kind of sideways action. It's not really giving up much.
Hmm.
That's impressive, right? Oh yeah, the other thing is always look at the volume on the pullback. So like this week, the key is look at all the volume right here. Look at this. It dries up. Look at that day, right?
Hmm.
This day right here, it dries up. No one wants to sell. And then even Thursday and Friday, it tried to make new low. Look at the volume. Really low, right? No one wants to
Hmm.
sell. Everyone's just, I hear like a lot of people want to buy around around here, 38, 39, right? Hoping for this pullback, but it doesn't look like it's happening. so
Hmm.
it's just incredible. Like I think this stock will probably go higher. It's just crazy. I think look at like this is the numbers, right? It's like double digits, high double digits, and the sales are growing, right?
No.
Look at the fund ownership, just continue to grow. 450 fund ownership, 99 composite rating, 8 billion cap, $42, high scraper volume. Like look at this week. This week is a sell-off week. Whenever a sell-off week happens and volume is low, that's a good sign.
Hmm.
It means that people don't want to let go, right? They just want to let it ride. And then there's lots of people watching this stock. A lot of growth investors looking at this stock right now, and they want to get in, but they can't because this is extended, and
Hmm.
and yet the stock doesn't want to pull back. So look at how far up the 50-day is right now, and it still won't pull back. Now, you know, um, yeah. So this is top on my list. It's just a super performer, a chip stock. Yeah, this is in the top of my list. A lot of people, like I say, we want to get around 38, 39. I don't know when it'll come back to this. Like the 50-day is still catching up. It could happen sometime down the
Mm-hmm.
road. I
Mm-hmm.
like I say, I never chase stocks. Like it's not worth it. Because you can have a quick, can whiplash and lose 10% just in one day. You don't know. So don't chase it. Just watch it. Weatherford. Um, this is in the oil. I'm trying to get back into oil right now. Like I hear some analysts saying it will go to 85 at the minimum. Um, and so this is yeah, this one, like it broke out of a 3 week tight here, really tight,
Mm-hmm.
right? Really
Wow.
tight, right? So if you don't have the patience, you miss it. And then when it broke out, this is the day you want to get in. And I got shaken out. I don't know how I got shaken out. Can't remember. But anyhow, was it? Let me see. Last price 64.48. Yeah, I got shaken out here because I put a stop at, like, I was up a little bit and then I put a stop too close to the last day. I got shaken out here, unfortunately. So a lot of time they will break the next day. It will come back to the test the previous close, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I normally, I never, for me, one of the things I do a lot is um I always want to take my profit, but I take that profit by putting in the stop, right, at the profit level. So
Mm-hmm.
if it does come back, you don't know. Sometimes it'll come back and it'll drop all the way down. In this case, it didn't, right? So I got shaken up. Sorry, go ahead. What's your
Mm-hmm.
question?
So yeah, interesting thing. Maybe you want to quickly look at XLE
Yeah,
because it looks like it's on the like verge of, yeah. See, it's forming handle.
yeah,
It's trending upwards.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I think this day a lot of stocks, like I said, Friday was a good day for oil stocks.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of them moved. Some of them didn't move as much as I hoped. Like CHX, I thought it would move a lot more, but it didn't. See, I just really, because this is a leader,
Mm-hmm.
so I don't know. But
Even
SLB, and they're all in the same like drilling one here. So this one moved. I got
check
into
out.
this one,
Mm-hmm.
Schlumberger, right? And then Halliburton. This one didn't move much yet. It did bounce back. So like I said, it was a mixed story for me. But I did get into a field just to make sure I didn't miss this one if it does happen.
Mm-hmm. Check out
Um,
Axiom.
Exxon, yeah, Exxon too, yeah,
Axiom was nice.
yeah. Exxon was
Wow.
not, yeah. I think I got into this. So like I said, I got into a field, but I also noticed a lot of them didn't move as I expected, right? So it's kind of a mixed picture. So I wouldn't be surprised Monday come back down and test the low, um, just because of what I just saw. So it's a very tough market right now. I think to take too much risk, especially given I think the CPI data will make the next move because that's all the
Mm-hmm.
market cares about right now. Is that it's the inflation story still, right? So, but like I said, I'm hopeful that it will continue to go down and at least meet the number 6.2%. So, but oil is Russia obviously announced they will cut output by 500K. That's why Friday jumped, right? Um,
Mm-hmm.
but like I say, I don't know. Like maybe it's just a little bit of I don't know, but it wasn't like it was good. XLE jump, but it wasn't like, but not every stock jump, which is that's why I was like, I don't get it. But we'll see. It's a clean, nice bounce off the 10-day. That's exactly like if I were to enter, this is my day to enter. If I didn't enter, I wouldn't enter after, right? Because like you're taking more risks as the second day progress. But so I did get into a field, like like so that's a good yeah. So
Mm-hmm.
okay, so Win is next. Sorry, is there anything else you want to look at?
No, yeah, sounds good.
Win, look at this guy. Um,
Wow.
I got shaken out on Friday, I mean, because it hit the low here. Um, So that's the risk. So that's what I noticed, right? When market is pulling back, general most stocks will follow it. Um, and those are the days when you try to set the low of the breakout day, it will come back and test it, and that's why I was shaking out. Um, but I'm gonna stay. Like, I'm gonna keep watching this, right? Like this is like right now travel stocks, like this like hotels and stuff, like casinos, right, in general, are doing really really well. They're leading the market right now. Like that's why consumer discretion is number one. Um, you know, um, Obviously the earnings are shitty, right, compared to like in the last, but the forecast is pretty good. If we look at Win, or maybe not Win. Win was still down. Yeah, Win is still not the best. Let me see. I thought maybe the number changed. Maybe I forgot. Let me just check quickly. Oh yeah, it's um it's a positive in the sense that it's going to lose less money. Right? It shows positive here, but the previous quarter is down. So it means that it will improve by 66%. So this number here, it will drop to like maybe zero point 0.5. It's still losing money, but it's going to drop to zero point 0.5 or zero point 0.6 earnings. So, but the thing is, market likes the story, right? Is that they're gonna do better now. Excuse me.
Right.
And this uptrend is so strong. Oh my God! Like this is the trend line right now, and it'll probably test around here on the previous trend line, and then maybe break out, continue to break out after. Like right now, the Charles story is really strong. Again, it's all related to the economy, and they couldn't hire fast enough still. I think last month the 500,000 job report in January. Um, a lot of it, like I mean, every sector grew, but this was like 150,000 jobs alone in this sector,
Mm-hmm.
which is crazy. Um, so I think yeah, I think it will continue to do well. I think it's just a matter of getting in the right time. Like I think I definitely missed the boat. This was the last time that this nice breakout right here, which is early in the year, right? January, yeah, see January 4th, 5th, and 6th. So this was the last time you could have gotten and have a nice gains right now. But the thing is, you look at this. Every time it pull back. It doesn't really go pull back. It kind of goes sideways, right? Like sideways.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is as far as it goes, the 10-day. Like really tight action. Uh, look at the blue volume. Like accumulation, you can see that institutions are all over this right now. So yeah, I got shaken out on Thursday, on Friday yesterday, but it's okay. Like we'll see. Like it could pull back down to 10-day again. Stocks, like I said, stocks will rise above the 10-day for like even a strong one like this one, right? 10 sessions, 15 sessions. Like this one went sideways after, and then eventually touched the 10-day. So that's what you want to see. It's okay you miss those stocks, go back to ALGM, right? So it's been about 10 sessions now. It go up. It's gonna come sideways. Even if it doesn't fall, it's gonna come sideways. Let the 10-day catch up. It'll touch it. And then it'll bounce off, and then that's the next leg up. So that's when you can add to it, right? Like it's definitely more
Mm-hmm.
risk at a higher level. But hey, if these are the leaders, they're gonna keep running, man. That's how it is.
Mm-hmm.
So okay. So ELF is one I really like as well. Um, it's a like IBD always talk about this stuff. So, like, if you look at this weekly chart, it's insane. Um, like, it goes sideways, go up, and then this is the biggest drop right here. Like one day,
Mm-hmm.
it was a 1 day drop. I don't remember the news, what it was about, and this stock just doesn't want to go down much. Yeah, this was it. I don't know what the news was. I can't remember. But you know, that was the only time it really break down. And even then, 3 4 sessions shake out a lot of people, and then now it's on the uptrend again. So now it's on like this again, same thing, almost like 6 7 sessions now. Now it's kind of look like it want to go sideways, so it will probably gonna touch the 10-day and then bounce off. And so really strong earnings. This one is a small, like, beauty type of skincare stuff. Look at this earnings. Look at this sales. Um, yeah, because this is like like they call it the baby of Estee Lauder, right? They call it. So it's like this is the big one, 89 billion cap. And this one fell quite a bit on earnings. But whereas Elf is like 4 billion cap. Look at this RS rating and this volume here. Like again, these are strong numbers. So I really like this stock now just because it has proven itself. It was how do you say 100% surprise on the last earnings. So Jim Ropel was saying how the analyst was so wrong on this stock. It's not even funny. Um, Over 100% surprise,
Wow.
like compared to what they estimate. So this stock is on the tear right now in terms of performing. So I'm just trying to get into a buy. I haven't traded this stock once yet. I'm just trying to get hope for some sort of pullback. I don't know if it will pull back. It's trading so tight. If anything, it'll go sideways, come close. Like I don't even think it'll touch the 10-day. That's how strong I think this stock is. It'll come close to it, but I don't think it'll touch it. And I'm just watching for an entry point right now. Um, so EDU, this one is a more volatile stock. It's a Chinese stock, but I like trading it because every time it moves at least 10%. So it's how do you say? It's good for a short-term trade. But yeah, let's take a quick look. Yeah, it's more volatile. You see, like it moves quite a bit. Like so, but right now it's on a downtrend. But you can see even after this downtrend, it's still listed in the top 10. It just shows how strong this stock is, right? It's still 73% gain since October low, and you can see this nice uptrend. So it's more volatile stock, but it does adhere to the uptrend. Is definitely more volatile, harder to hold is what I'm saying. Um, yeah, but it's good for trading. I like trading this stock. Eight, it's an old name. So I think it's in software. So one area that has also jumped a lot is software. Um, and obviously these are all beaten down stocks. Long base at the bottom here, broke out on the good earnings. Now a lot of these stocks are pulling back.
Mhm.
Um, just like the market, just like Nasdaq, they're all pulling back. And so obviously, if you buy on the break of the day, you lose money for sure. Um, there's really not much you can do. But I don't like. It could be the turnaround story. This one's. The other one is I don't know what's a good entry point. Like I would wait for a bounce. That's for sure. I don't know if it'll go to the 200 day though, or 50 days lower. 200 days right here. I don't
Mhm.
know. It might, and then that would be the last test before it bounced to like. So this is now considered an uptrend, and the question is where is it like gonna test, right? The previous, like, how strong are the investors in this? Eight is one of them. There's quite a bit. Eight is one of them. New R is another. New R is what number here? Okay, number 30, right? So new R eight similar. So if we look at new R, it was on CNBC yesterday. The CEO with Kramer talking about how well they're doing. Like one customer quadrupled their order, like crazy. Um, so yeah, so this is the breakout day again, pulling back. So those stocks again, this right now, like just like how the ARK stocks have run well, the those type of tech stocks have run well during the January. Now they're all giving back, right? So it's that's why it's tricky, right? Like I think even though these stocks might do well in the future just because they have strong earnings, improve their earnings and stuff. But right now it's a test on how far it will go. And yeah, I don't know how far it will go. That's the question. Like the key is to see that support line, 10 day, 21 day, which is very close together. Um, yeah, so I would watch for those bounce there. Again, chasing stocks sometimes is tough, especially those kind of stocks is tough. Once they pull back, they pull back really strong. THR, surprisingly boring stock, but no one talks about it. It just goes up pretty nice. It just came on my radar this week. Look at this uptrend. I don't know what the story behind it is. Oh no, this is Thurman. Sorry, I confused with a newspaper. I thought. So heating products, small cap, $27. Huge giant volume on earnings. Look at these numbers, really strong. 50% almost growing, and sales slightly down. But it's okay. I don't know, but it's strong. Small cap leading again. Um, WNC. This name has been a while. I haven't looked at this in a while. Let's see how's it doing. Yeah, so we pulled back this week, probably on earnings, I'm guessing. Okay, yeah, no, it did well on earnings, but then now it pulled back.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what we're seeing. We see stocks that are either going sideways or they're pulling back pretty strong to their 10-day, and hopefully they can find support near 10 or 21 day. Um, it's just like the general market right now. So most stock will have this pattern. Is the 10 and 21 day, like either it stay above it or they're kind of in between. Definitely don't want to look at stocks that are below 21 right now. Yeah, so that's kind of, but this is a strong stock. Like it's been one of the winners last year. Transportation, triple digit growth. Yeah, this is really strong. I need to keep this on my radar too. I like
Ridiculous.
names that nobody talk about. It's a small cap. Um, you know, yeah, I need to pay attention to this. But right now it's a good, right? Because it pulled back. This is what I'm talking about. Like this stock's pull like has a strong run, pull back. Now it's doing this again, a small 1 day take, which is not good. Most people are probably losing money right now. If you didn't sell, and now if it does bounce, then it'll be pretty strong because most people will already been shaken out. That's usually what happens. So yeah, I will watch this guy. Okay,
Mhm.
so SMCI, I think yeah, I text you about SMCI. I really like yeah, it didn't participate in the run in January. That's why no people talk about it. You know,
Mhm.
no one talks about it because it was like a laggard, right? But really what it's doing is just building a base. Um, so this is I can't believe that this is in the fourth base now. So the way IBD calculates, anytime it has 20% gain, it's gonna shift, right? So here last year in
Mhm.
March, when all stocks are going down, it bounced back on like probably earnings or something. So here's the run here, here's the run here, and then here's the run. Like it does create lots of bases. That's one thing. But at the same time, bases are like but you have to understand this is a bear market year. Most stocks don't even do this. And second thing is um like this one is probably the most shallow out of all of them. 28% difference, 33, 37, 29. So this one is the tightest of all of them. So last week was right there, right? We bounced off the lows
Mhm.
and went all the way above the 50-day. And then this week it started out really like kind of sideways, and that's when I took a small like a position right here like on Monday.
Mhm.
And then Tuesday it fell below 50-day. I was like, oh no, it's not gonna fall apart, is it? And then it was able to close near it at the end of the day. And then Wednesday is when in the morning, that's when it started to take off. Um, so Monday I bought my first share. The Wednesday morning, as soon as I saw that bounce off the 50-day, I bought another like position.
Mhm.
So Thursday was when it really went up,
Right.
right? But it did fall all the way back at the bottom, which is okay. It's just gonna shake out a lot of investors. And then Friday, I was like, okay, the true test is Friday because Thursday it went all the way there. Thursday, Friday, I'm like, okay, it's gonna shake below that price a little bit, and the key is you want to, I was even thinking it'd go to the 10-day right here, but it didn't. I could technically add on Friday, but I didn't, just
Mhm.
because I was starting to fear the market now. Um,
Mhm.
so, but normally I would add on Friday too. because of that bounce of the lows here. Um, but oh well, we'll see. But I'm doing okay holding this right now. And this is one of like this is my first long position right now that I'm going to plan to hold,
Mhm.
especially now that it has worked. And now the key is if market bounce next week, and I'm hoping it will. I really hope it will because we are at a critical juncture right now for the market. We have a 6-day pullback on Nasdaq, and that's a good handle, on the stock chart. So we want to see like this doesn't build handle, right? I'm talking about other stocks, right? But but this one is like kind of humming out of the base. Like this is the strongest stock I think this week for a leader. And while the market is going down, it's going up, and you can see the RS line is going up. And so, but right now we need it to break out. So if the market bounce next week, we should see this stock break out strong. That's what I'm hoping to see. Um, yeah, but we'll see. Generally, when it builds the right side of the base, it has never failed before. So you see, so we'll come back to this chart. Oh,
Mhm.
this one fell, but that's like, you know, early 2022. And then when it came back up past the middle level here, it didn't fall. But it was very choppy though, right? It's like a really small move, like in a few days, in the sense of very short. But this one's nicer uptrend, and then this one also nice. Like so, when it does run, it's 5 6 weeks, 5 6 weeks at least. So if this is runs 5 6 weeks, it seems like it's gonna be a bigger run this time because 2 weeks is already at the top here. So we'll see if that trend continues. And because like now, you have to understand this was before, right? This was happening during the bear market, and if right now if this is gonna break out and this is a bull market, I expect this stock to perform even better. So yeah, we'll see.
Mhm.
Yeah, any
Interesting.
questions about this?
So yeah. So what would be the buy point now if you have missed this?
Definitely this trigger line at the top here.
Mhm.
There is a middle, like I don't know. This one is probably where some people look at on Thursday. So
Mhm.
right, um, yeah, that would be the buy point there Thursday. Obviously, you are still probably if you buy above that line, you are still down. But like I say, I think it tests most people on Friday morning.
Mhm.
That was a cue to add. I didn't add. Um, Um, so now, the next move I anticipate is going to break this line.
Mhm.
It's so close to it, right? So, but that's still a 90 to 95. That's still a 5% move.
Yeah.
So like I won't be surprised if like, because the market condition is not good, I won't be surprised if it breaks out and then pulls back again. Just doing what it did on Thursday.
Mhm.
So yeah, that would be another buy point there. But I think you just have to be cautious, right? That's why um, where you put your stops is very important, right? And it's up to you how you want to adjust your list. But generally, you want to give it room if you want the whole, right? So at least a 10-day or even more or 21 day, but they're pretty close right now. So yeah, somewhere around there. Yeah. But I think if it breaks out this top, like especially on this side, it breaks out on that high, which is near 95, right? Um,
Mhm.
it will be strong. Like that's what I would expect to see. And if it's strong, um, usually I'll buy it after our opening. Um, you know, but remember, market is in a pullback mode. Buying on breakout usually doesn't work. Or
Mhm.
pullback, right? So that's the key to remember. There's risk there, but you have to take that risk if you want to try it.
Right.
Um, but maybe maybe just don't go big, right? Small
Mhm.
positions, and then if it does pull back, then give you an opportunity. Like if it pulls back to the 10-day, breaks out, comes back down, and hit this line, you can add here more. Then you know that would be the safer route. But
Mhm.
just if the market goes on a tear again, it's gonna run wild really fast. That's the problem, right? So that's why it's kind of dilemma. You have to decide.
Mhm.
You want to take that risk or not? Like I don't think, but the risk to me is still minimal, right? Because now it's on a clear uptrend now. Like so,
Got
here's the really big uh sign for me was on Monday and Tuesday. It pulled back on really low volume,
it. Mhm.
right? That was the sign right here.
Right.
So that's exactly what you want to see, especially around like moving average, like the 50-day. That was the sign to me that institutions are I think they're gonna, they're not willing to sell, and yeah, so yeah, um, yeah, so that's a good stock, I think. Let's see, anything else jump out at me here? ASML, BA, RCL, Las Vegas Sands, so another casino stock, Peloton. So these are all the beaten down stock that's coming back. INSP, I think this one did well. Medical, this one. We have a few minutes left here. Yeah, so this one.
We can actually take a break around 10:55, and then I'll be back in like 5 minutes, 5 10 minutes.
Oh, really? Okay. Yeah, yeah, we can do that. Yeah, because I can stay till 12 today. Um, yeah, so this one, just let me know, okay? Because I'm not watching my time closely. Um, but yeah, this one broke out on Friday. I took a position. Oh, not Friday, Wednesday. Sorry. Maybe I sold it. See, this is my markup. I got traded, I think. So these are shorter term. So I haven't started my long term position much yet. Only SMCI. All these are short term positions still. But this one broke out on earnings.
Mhm.
But it's acting good. Not like it's not like it's acting good around the, it's still way above the 10-day, pulling back on Friday. Um, volume is a little bit high, but it's still lower. So what I like to see is volume has to be lower than the breakout volume, and preferably below the 50-day average, right? But this one is, it's like we want to see the volume dry up as days
Mhm.
progress, especially on down days in the market. Um, so we'll see. But I like this stock because, look at this trend right here. Very strong. This is a word, I think this is not good for short-term trade because it's like so volatile. Like it has big bar range. Um, but it's good for medium-term trade. Like, you have a bigger cushion on your stock. So that's the difference I find for short-term versus long-term. It's like it's harder
Mhm.
to hold, is what I'm trying to say. And when it breaks out, like it has strong, like 1 day drop, and you're gonna get knocked out on those days. Um, but yeah, I like this stock. It's so tight. Like on the weekly chart, this is really tight for a base. And this breakout, I think, probably will work. And I think yeah, see, it report positive earnings. And look at the sales, we're so consistently growing at 70%. That's incredible. I know they have some sort of product. Um, let me see if I can open my um. Like I said, I told you. I think I started to track what we call the story. I want to track the story for each stock, and so that if to get conviction, if I'm gonna hold for longer term,
Mhm.
because that's what you need is when you decide to hold for longer term, um, you have to think about the long-term story. Do you believe in it, right? Because if you don't believe in it, it's hard to hold. I don't think I have this name on here yet, but I try to track like SMCI, right? Like what is it that it's doing, right? High performance server storage products for application in AI, and that's the big thing, AI right here. So most of the companies are, yeah. So that's one trend, right? AI is the biggest trend right now. So, and it's surprised not many people talk about this. But IBD talked about it in their new article on January 6th. And it was funny because they released this article, Jim Ropel. Next day it broke out like we go back to this topic. Sorry, I just want to talk about this quickly because he got cut, right? Um, and so that's why
he's having a lot of trouble getting into stocks right now because he said every time he get into the stock, he get knocked out. Um, what was that day? I think it was here, January. No, January. Oh, right here. No, sorry, I missed it. January 4th. Yeah, right there. This day. I think
Hmm.
that was the day he got like, yeah. Or maybe no, maybe it's. Oh, sorry. Yeah. I don't remember. I think maybe this one. Maybe this one, January 10th. I don't remember. Yeah, it must be. It's January 6th. Yeah, that's right. It's this day, it reversed. Oh, yeah, right here. It reversed. See?
Yeah, big reversal.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll talk a little bit more about I think I understand how he built position. I'll talk more about it when we come back. Um, yeah. Um, so, so anyhow. Okay, so we have a few minutes, so I might as well talk about now. So the way he builds position, and he's more clear about it on his membership call. What happens in the bull market is it's very hard to build the positions you want in the leader stock. Why? Because you have to account for risk management. And
Hmm.
so as a stock's building a base, you don't know which, like right here, right? Like for example, I'm just using this example. I don't know if this even, like this one tries to break out, it fell, right? And then you might try one, two, three times before it works because it might still be in base. Like this one is terrible. This base is pretty terrible. So like this one he fell. This one, I mean, if you take a position here, you fell. So you could fail two, three times before you have a position. And even
Hmm.
when you have a position, it's possible. Um, like this day right here, you took in a position, it will get, like if you have risk management, it will knock you out because it will drop more than 7%, and like even at a 7% cut loss rule, you'll be knocked out. And so he talks about how as the leader progress, he doesn't like taking small gains because it's so hard to build that position when you're right. So like I say, you can try one, two, three times, and let's say the third time it worked and it start going up this uptrend, and it broke out and it make 10, 15%, and you sell it, and then it pulls back, right? Like you start to pull back and you sell it for a 10, 15% gain. Now you lost this that so you spend so much time building this position for this level. So stocks inevitably will go up and pull back, go up and pull back. So when we look at this longer term trend, right, it will do that every quarter. Think of it as quarters, right? Every quarter, you can get new, like you're gonna get this earnings report, you can get this earnings report, you can get this earnings report, and the key to making big money is when you find a leader, they're gonna beat on every earnings, and they're gonna shock the, surprise the market, and
Hmm.
yeah, we can talk about this when you come back. How about we take a pause for here? Yeah, so for like I said, we look at the weekly chart, it's probably easier. So I think like for me, it's much easier to play, like if you want to play longer term, it's much easier to look at weekly chart. Just because like you still can look at daily chart, but I'm saying like you have a better picture when you look at weekly chart. So like I said, coming back to the point that Jim Roper was saying, right? Like, you know, you buy on the breakout right here, and then it goes up. It's gonna pull back, and this is the difficult part. And this one pulls back quite a bit. And in fact, it pulled back so much it built like like I think we saw earlier. It was like a 30%, 20-30% correction, right? So that's why it's tough, like so some people like I don't know if Jim Ropel does this, but I know like Charles Harris does this, and a lot of other traders do this, like even David Ryan, is they will trade around the core position. So what does that mean, right? So as it comes up, you basically want to like make a decision at some point and take some profit. but you won't sell all of it, right? And you can decide how you want to play that. You want to sell half of it at a 20% gain, like right here, or 15, 20%, sell half, keep the other half, and then use that money and to build new positions again, right? As it pulls back, and then at some point you decide, hey, I'm gonna buy on this side now, right? But you still have your core position, but your core position is gonna sit through this correction, and that's very painful, right? But that's the only way you can hold big gains, right? Is that, let's say you buy it here. Let me see what the buy point is. $48, $47.99. Now, right now, what is it? If you hold for long term, like you're sitting at those core positions you never sold, now it's 90. You almost double your money, right? So that's in like what, 1 year, right? Like, again, this you have to understand. This, we've been in a bear market. That's pretty good for 1 year return. Now that if we go into a bull market for the next 10 months, let's assume so, this could run well. This could go up even, more than double in the next 10 months. So, but if you buy at 48 and now it's at 90, and then in 10 months from now, let's say it's 180, you are 4 times your money from here, right? I'm just using it as an example, right? So now you 4 times your money, and if you hold it longer, if the bull market runs even longer, it'll double again in another 10 months, and now you 8 times your money. So that's the way you can make big money, by holding a position for longer term. And that's James Roppel's specialty. That's what he focuses on. He's not too interested in 15, 20% gain on every run, right? Like here you can take your 15, 20%, here you can take your 15, 20%, here you can take your 15, 20%. He's not interested in that. He's more interested in building wealth, right? Through acquiring positions. But you have to find those leaders, number one. Just like Mark Mini said, right? And then second, you have to find a proper entry point so that you don't get shaken out. And then and then to know when to sell, like Mark Mini said, you have to decide what kind of trader you are, right? And you can do both. Just don't do them, within the same account, because it's hard to track it that way. So that's how I do it. I'm trying to, I do trade, like mainly trade short positions. But as the bull market continues to run, and I see more evidence that this is a bull market, I'm going to start building longer term positions. Like, this will be one of them right now. And yeah, like, so then the next question you ask is, where are we in the cycle? Like if I look at this stock, where are we in the cycle? Well, if the bull market had just started, I know the technical pictures show this is the 4th base, but I will count this as the 1st base. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to follow the monthly cycle, right? Now I have seen like some like Apple before. I think Netflix was another one. They have, during their run, they have like up to 6 bases before they correct big time. So with that being said, I'm just saying, I don't know for sure. Let's say this is, how, like the way technically IBD calculate, which is 20% gain, it counts as a new base. And now this is number 4. There's nothing to say that 4 to number 5, this couldn't run for a long time before it correct. You know what I'm saying? And so this could build another base up here, like super high, and then it could go up again. Let's say it last another 10 months. So that's like this year and then next year. It could build up super, like, so Tesla kind of did that, right? But let's see if we can pull it back. It has those big runs. Let me see. Let me take out my markup for a second. Just too much stuff here. So this is the big run. Like, it never formed bases as it runs. Like, it built sideways flat. Like this run right here. See, like IBD never draw a base until right here. Okay. So this is the 2020 run. And then here is another run. And then it built this long base. So you see, like this base, from this base to this base, is a long run, right? Just because SMCI right now, has short bases, have really quick pull correction after a bounce, doesn't mean that will happen every time. So that's why, it's possible that this could run for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or even longer, as many weeks, right, or even months before it pulls back again next time. We don't know how strong this stock's going to be. But um, but yeah, I really like this stock. Like, I know next year, I don't know why the forecast is so low, but right now this year is good, 83% at least. So these are the numbers. Now next quarter is forecasted 28%, I believe. So that's still, it's not a significant growth, but again, maybe they'll beat it, right? Like, so last quarter, as earnings surprise, it beat by extra 13%, right? So um, yeah, the only reason I like this stock the most is because of this basis. I felt like when stocks go through basis and each basis they are able to make new high, it shows to me that this is like, you know, and higher lows, right? It shows to me that institutions are slowly acquiring this stock. And you can see that here too. It's slowly going up. So as this name is more and more known to institutions, it's gonna, like, let's say this is a bull market, the next 4 quarters it's going to keep growing as long as they keep putting out these numbers here down here. So Jim Roppel always talk about, like, I believe like 8 to 10 quarters of beating earnings, and those are the super stocks, right? The super stocks are usually the ones that keep beating their earnings and keep growing, and that's what he's saying. You need to hold through those 8 to 10 quarters, and that's, you're gonna have those big super performance stock in those periods. But it's very, very hard to build those positions. That's what he's saying. Very hard. So normally what happens is he'll buy in. Hopefully you don't get shaken out. Like you could, let's say it drop back to your buy point. So he used 3, 5, and 7 as an example, right? 357 stop loss, 357% stop loss. It might hit your 3% stop loss. You still have your position at 5 and 7. It goes up higher. You add, like, whatever you might add more, and then you build another 3 to 5, 7% stop loss there for your new position, and then it might get cut 3 or 5%, and you still have your 7% loss. So you slowly, incrementally add, has more and more position, but every time you buy in, the market is going to try to shake you out. And worse, if not all, but hopefully you will build your positions here. Some, like, obviously this is the low, but I'm saying, like, right here. Hopefully it doesn't shake you out. So here you see you got shaken out. You buy it here on this run here, pretty close. These ones are very hard to hold. This one's here. This one again, same, pretty close. I'm just using where it crossed the 50-day, the high. Assuming you buy it around there, you can get shaken out. So stock is not easy to hold for sure. But that's why he talked about building positioning is not easy, especially at the beginning of the run. And we talked about that last time too for Zoom, when I was looking at Zoom before. But one of this time, it's gonna work, it's gonna take off, and it will never come back to that buy point. And that's when you know, oh wow, I finally have this position. And that's why he said, don't let go of those positions that work, because if you believe this is a super stock, don't go for that 10-15% gain. But this is why I kind of take more of I think his approach is great. Don't get me wrong. That's how he make his fortune, okay? He said his lifetime, he make most of his fortune from 8 to 10 stocks. That's it. Out of like 20, 30 years, he said most of his fortune came from 8 to 10 stocks, right? So, but it's very difficult, right? Because you have to go through this building position cycle, and it's very difficult. For me, I think so Charles Harris, I like what he teaches. He and a lot of IBD guys follow this method. They trade around the core positions. So meaning, like, you always like hold some position for longer term, but you trade around it. So like, let's say your full position is 100% at, as you add each time 100%, you might get cut to 20, 30, 50% and take those gains, like short-term gains, but keep the remaining for long term. And you hope you don't get shaken out of those, right? So that way you're making profit as it goes, but you're also using that money to buy back at a lower price, right? But you still have your long-term position that you can, let's just in case it does take off, like 20% in one day, or 20% in 2, 3 days or 5 days or whatever. It just takes off. then you still have those long positions to, you're not worried about being short on your positions, right? So, and that's how they all do it. Bill O'Neill does it that way. Like if you ever seen one of his super stock model, he'll put where all his buy and sell points are, and you can see as it moves up, that's what you'll see. So coming back, like that's why I want to be better at this, and I want to put my buy and sell right. So right now you see I buy. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at the weekly chart. Sorry, I just jumped. I don't know why I jumped to daily chart. So I'm trading this like even though this is a medium position I'm taking here, on the weekly chart, I bought near the lows here, actually more of the like near the highs of last week, and but as it jumped like on Thursday, it jumped 10% that day. I took some profit, right? Um, and then like I said, I only sold like 20% of it, so I still have a lot of positions. But that's the thing you have to do. You have to take some profit, and because you just don't know, right? And you have to, you know, like so that's how you build your position. Does that make sense? Yeah, because I find it hard if you were up 10%, or you like I said, you look at the base, right? Like this is longer term. Like it's very hard for me to stomach you up 20% or 30% and then come back like 20%. Like even if it come down two-thirds of it, it's still very hard for me to stomach it. Um, I prefer to take some gains as it go up, but you're also giving up, right? If it does have those runs like Tesla did, you're gonna give up a lot. But how often does that happen? Not very often, right? So you know, like this run here is crazy. Like before the next, and like it's a big run, and it doesn't happen often, but it will happen at some point. Those super stock, they all do it. You just don't know when it's gonna happen. And so in the meantime, um, yeah, so it's up to you how you want to play. But for me, I'm gonna do what those guys are doing mostly is have a core position but trade around, right? So your 100% is not really 100%. You're gonna give up some, whether it's at a stop level or whether it's at a profit level. But then you're always gonna have some that you say, hey, I want to leave that for long, right? Um, and don't you can always buy in, right? That's the thing. There's nothing stopping you from buying in if you see a proper nice entry point. So like I said, this week, I could have bought three times. So Monday I bought here, Wednesday on that bounce I bought, Friday you could have bought too. So there's always chances to buy. And then when it pulls back, it's the best time to buy too. So um, there's never a shortage of buying opportunities. It's just a matter of like what price can you get at and where's your stops, right? And but I find that it's very hard if I don't take profit. Um, Even though I'm trying to hold this for long term, um, even a little bit, like I just need to get that confidence, that hey, I'm up a little bit, I take it, and yeah. So and like I say, I'm not selling a lot, like I'm selling a little bit just to if it goes up next week, let's say the bar was like this, I would sell another, 20, like my rule of thumb is usually 20% for each sell. And I would sell 200% here. And then maybe if it pulls back, I'll add, right? So that's how you trade around that position. And that way, it also makes you think about the stock in general. Is it weak? Is it strong? Is it behaving how it's behaving according to the market? Like it forces you to think about it, and not just try to buy it and forget it. Um, because you want to constantly assess, is this the super stock, right? You have so many stocks. Which one will be the super stock? Um, yeah. Yeah, any other questions about SMCI? Yeah, really, to me, this is a really good model stock. Okay, it has all the ingredients of a super stock. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. So Um, the only, like I said, the only negative thing is that it didn't participate in the January run. But that being said, this last week it was up while everything was down. So um, you know, maybe it's ready for the run now, right? Um, so the rumor why it didn't do well in January, in the early January, was like that's why Jim Ropel got cut short too. But he didn't. He said he's not giving up on this stock because he still think this is a good stock. Um, was because there was a rumor that they're not reporting their revenue properly, um, or earnings. I don't know which one. So that's so someone is shorting the stock big time, and so then the stock. That's the day that the stock fell a lot. Um, but Jim Pro said, if that is true, why is it going up now? You know, so rumor is never, you don't know, right? For sure, right? But that was the reason why this big gap down right here. Yeah, this big gap. This is where you got cut. Um, yeah, but it react poorly for a week or two, but then it started to bounce. So, um, yeah, we'll see. But like I said, it has never gone back down once it built the right side of base. So that's the one thing I really like about this chart, is every time it goes up on the right side, it just keep going. So that's what we want to see now. We want to see like 4, 5, 6 weeks of up weeks, and I don't know like how much longer it can go. We'll see. But for a start, that's what I'm anticipating to see. Um, and and yeah, I'll try to see if I can add more positions. Like, you know, this is my only stock right now in my longer term, medium to long term portfolio. So, um, yeah, I want to get into LGM and ELF. Weatherford, yeah, maybe. The Weatherford is oil story. That's the only thing I'm worried about. But I think oil, yeah, oil is looking okay. It's not, super strong right now, but Friday was a really good day. But sometimes oil is really volatile, and they'll have one good day and then one bad day the next day. So we'll see how again, always see how it reacts on the bad days. Is it hitting the lows again, or is it holding support above that low, previous low? Um, but a lot of oil stocks, yeah, kind of slowly come back on Friday. So we'll see. It's just a 1 day bounce, so it's hard to tell. There's URI. Um, this is a very good stock. I I think I don't remember what happened to me. It broke out here. You can see. Um, it's holding really tight right here. See, so it goes up for 5, 6 sessions, and it comes back. It really didn't go down. It's just going sideways. Now it's at the 10-day. So this is a good, like, this is when you want to set your. So here I'll set this high here, 450.31, and I'm gonna wait to see if it bounce above it, right? And look at this volume. Wow, look at this volume right here. Like all the big tall ones are blue. And look at the dry up in the volume. Oh my God, look at that. This is institution quality. When you see this happening, and very seldom you see that happening so perfectly. Like this is like clear signs of institution like holding and buying this stock. Like wow, look at that. Yeah. And this is like way past the buy point right here. But it's not a fast moving stock, but it's definitely a good moving stock, right? So if this is one of those that for long term is really good because it's a slow pace, but it's like just keep moving up slowly. Um, you know, so this one right here is strong. So if we have that again, it might be good. So that's this is in 17 right now here. Pi, okay. A lot of IBD guys talk about pi. Um, I think I got shaken out this one this week. Um, yeah, because it went down Friday. Yeah, this is very, very volatile. So on Thursday, many of my new buys got shaken out very quickly. So I lost money in those ones, which I don't like. But again, it shows that the market is not very stable right now. But Friday you can see it tried to bounce off the 50-day. That's a good sign. But we'll see, right? You know, the next thing we want to see is it will continue to climb here. Impossible, because we have two big shakeout now. One, two. So what I found is that when you have a strong leader, and I think this stock can be considered a strong leader because it has really strong earnings um, in the chip sector. Um, it's not very stable though, like 0% here, but it's okay. Like it has gone like up a lot in the last 2 quarters, 34 and 41 cents. And then the sales are 50% around. That's pretty good. 2 quarters of strong earnings and sales. So it's pretty good. And this stock you see is outperforming, last year, you can see. And then this year, again, just like SMCI built this base in January, didn't do much, tried to break out, fell. But this like the volume is a little bit high on the sell side right here. But I think like once it stabilizes and it can break out again, it could be a strong stock. It could be. The only thing, the best thing I like about this daily chart is this nice cup pattern here. Um, yeah, it's been volatile though. So, so yeah, earnings. So this earnings right there, it kind of moved out on Thursday and then like I said, it it fell apart, right? That's why I bought it. It was because of the earnings. And then it pulled back and I had to cut my loss. Um, so but it has the potential to be a leader because of this numbers here. Really good. Um, and it hasn't worked this year, just so you know. That's why it's like SMCI. But I feel like these guys are building bases, right? So once you take off, it's gonna this one slightly better number next year than SMCI. Um, yeah. So I think when it works, it's gonna work. That's one of those things. It's just tough right now because it hasn't participated. But that's okay. It's good for new entry, right? It's better off to buy off a base than a slight pullback like LGM and L because those guys you buy at a really high price. But doesn't like it's okay. They grow stock, so they'll just keep going up. But it's just nicer to see on a breakout. It's just easier for me. I don't know why subconsciously it's just easier to buy on a breakout than on when the stock run up and pull back a little bit. Um, but really, if they're gonna work either way. But if it's a bull market, STM is another chip stock. Let's just look at the earnings. I can't remember what the earnings look like. Yeah, look at this. Really strong. And the sales are growing as well. Those chip stocks definitely is the strongest area, I think. But like I said, right now is pullback mode. We want to see who's doing well in this pullback mode. And wow, look at this, right? So I'm just gonna take away my marker for a second just because it's hard to read. So here's this one, and then pull back to 10-day, and it bounced right away, goes up, and pull back near 10-day, never touch 10-day. Look at this. Just like this is strength. When it's come close to 10-day but never touches it, like even here, look at this. It never touches it. Like it came so close to touching it. It just shows the power of the buying. Just people just like ready to jump on the gun. It's kind of like ALGM right now. Like people just want to buy it, right? And even here, like that's amazing. So Friday you could have bought. I don't know why it wasn't on my radar. Because it bounced. Um, that would be a signal. Yeah, Friday would be a signal to buy. Um, Yeah, so there you go. So that's a nice, so this is like a handle, right? So that's what IBD is talking about right now. This last week, a lot of strong stocks are setting up a handle. Like they consider a 1 week handle good enough, okay? Just so you know. It can be longer, but in most cases, 1 week is the minimum. So this is a nice big cup and a handle now, right? So it could continue. We haven't seen this breakout yet. This is a much bigger correction than other stocks. Um, but yeah, the fundamentals are strong. Um, volume is slightly down this week, slightly lower than previous 2 weeks. So that's good. Um, yeah, let's go back to what happened to my box? Oh, what happened to that box here? Let's see. Hmm. Yeah, this is a good one too. I think that's a good one to put in this. Like that's the one thing I noticed is a lot of chip stocks are doing so well. ASML, let's just look at this one. Let me see if it's strong too. Can't remember. Less people talk about this. Oh, this is a huge cap. 260 billion. Oh yeah, earnings and fundamentals are probably less, but the stock's still good, running wild though. Interesting. Um, you can see it's going sideways right now. On Friday, it fell below the 21 days, so that's not good. Anyhow, but it has a strong run. I'm surprised. Yeah, it has a strong run so far. It doesn't look like it. When you look at the chart, it doesn't look like it has a strong run. But from 363 to over 600, right? That's why it's at the top of the list. Interesting. We still have Boeing. Like those guys are really basing right now. Um, yeah, see, this stock, it's like okay, like goes up, goes sideways, doesn't really pull back much. This one is a harder, like, and then it goes up, like lots of volatility here, but it still goes up. Pause here for like 5 6 days, goes up, and now it's pausing for like almost few weeks now. Doesn't want to give up. This, um, trading now really tight. Volume starting to dry up. See, this is what when the stock pull back, look at the volume. So all the blue bars are at the top, and all the red bars are at the bottom. Institutions are holding, and this stock has run a lot, right? But it's still like this is super high here, and then this is the level that we're trying to cross. So once you cross this level, it's going to go to this level, I think. So yeah, Boeing is coming back. It was one of the worst performing stock during the bear market. Now it's well, even since 2020, 21. Yeah, even since 2021, it hasn't performed well. Oh yeah, they had lots of issues, I remember. Yeah, but this stock is worthwhile looking at. It's unbelievable how strong the volume action is. Okay, so again, travel is consumer discretion is the top, right? So Royal Caribbean Group, this is the cruise line. Like they improve in earnings for sure, but they're not going to be, you know. Let me just double check. What was the forecast here? I don't think they're making profit yet, but let's see. But this stock is strong right now, very strong. Um, okay, so this is 84% improvement. It's not a positive earnings because it's negative last time. So it will improve by 80%, over 80%, which means they'll be roughly in line with this current quarter, which is around $1. So that market react well with it on the earnings. So the next quarter is going to be forecast similarly. So I think market like that news. And look how tight this is trading. And then goes up, and now it's going sideways. Volume drying up. It's not like completely low, but it's below the buying. So it might have some more days of holding tightness. Watch for the tightness, and then when it rebound, I think this will be a good buy. So move that stop the high alert there. Yeah. So just like Boeing, this one has come back up a lot. Still not at the highest high, but but it's moving fast. That's the thing. It doesn't look like it. Like sometimes this stuff they don't look like they will move fast, but they do. It's funny how it works. So yeah, okay. But these are not the strongest fundamentals. These are probably good for trading. LVS, Las Vegas Sen. I like this stock a lot. Similar to Win, but I don't know if the earnings. Let's look at the earnings with it. They're all improving for sure. It's all the consumer discretionary are improving. Yeah, this is just okay. So this is going to turn positive because it's over 100%, right? So we're going from a negative quarter to improvement over 100%, which means it will be positive. So which means it will make profit. And yeah, so I like this way more than Win, because it's able to turn into a profit, and it's running well right now. Like so go to find go to trade. Right now it's going sideways, so it's giving opportunity. I got shaken out on Thursday, unfortunately. That was a fake bounce. So that's Thursday. I got shaken out on a lot of stocks, unfortunately. That was probably my worst day of the week. But here you can see this, right? Go sideways, and this is doing the same thing similar. So we're looking for that bounce, because every time it bounces off, it looks like a good run. You see? So if it bounces off like that, so we need to set this high alert here, 57.91. So yeah, I usually like to set my alert around the highs of the previous day plus is above the 10-day. I don't usually buy stocks below 10-day. Very seldom. Like I rather wait, like even if I buy at a higher price, I rather wait. But these are really strong stocks. Like like this is turning into a profit. Like that's amazing. Um, yeah. Let me see. LPG. I don't hear many people talking about this stock, but I think it's good. Let's just double check. I'm holding this right now. Oh, this is oil and gas. Okay. Sometimes I forget there's so many names, I forget what they do. um, okay, so here's the numbers. Pretty good numbers. Um, yeah, 3/4 strong numbers. Sales accelerating. Small cap, $22 stock. But this is like, look at this, right? This is nice base, move up, nice base, move up. Now it's starting to break out. Volume down here, you can see that. Two days of selling, both days lower volume than the previous day, so that's good. It's slowly moving up, higher lows every day, close at the top, 4 days in a row. Very strong technical strength, and they just broke it down. So, um, yeah. So right now, I say this is like, yeah, I think I bought it. I don't remember which day, but I bought it. Um, so yeah, so it's looking good right now. It's slowly moving up. That's fine. you know, the market, remember the market is in a pullback mode, but this stock is going the other way, right? So as soon as the market move, this is gonna move even faster. So RS line is climbing, see, new high right here. Very strong. I like this stock. I really like this stock. Because remember, what happened in the last week? Oil dropped to 70 and bounced back, but this stock didn't even like make a dent. Yeah, so yeah, like I would say this is the top oil stock now. Because you know, CHX used to be the top oil stock. Now this is like the it's a smaller cap, but still it shows lots of strength on the technical side. Um, EAT. Surprisingly, this one I would never think this would be at the top of the list. But again, consumer discretionary, right? Retail restaurants. This one is more choppy. You can tell the chart is more choppy. It's hard to hold the stock, I think, for short term. You will get chopped. But I think, you know, it's okay. Let me see. Let me see what the profit looks like. The last quarter was kind of minimum, but the stock still do well. So let's have a good forecast. Let's see. 27%. I guess not bad. 27%. Yeah, it's not super performance type of stock, but it could so 92 cents. Wow. Okay, 92 cents jumped 27%. That's gonna be around $1.20. Yeah, it'll be the highest in the last 8 quarters. Yeah, yeah. So it's slowly moving up. It doesn't look like it's jumping a lot from when you look at this chart, but it is based on the performance. So um, yeah. Uh, okay, financials. So financials, I really like financials in January, and then they kind of taper off. But let's see. There's a lot of small caps in that area. Like I was holding like a lot of them in January, but then they kind of anticipate a little bit. So here, see, this is a 5 billion cap, $113. The numbers are not bad. Um, you know, I don't know. I don't think these are super performance stuff, but they're probably like, you know, okay, 21% next quarter, 25%. So they're steady, right? They're not like crazy performance, but fundamental wise. But the technical chart is pretty good. Um, so we do have this one selling volume day, but so when we look at selling volume day, we need to see where they close, right? And I can tell you, it did close at the bottom, so that's a negative. That's a negative. Thursday it did bounce back to 10-day, but the problem is it's like right now it's on the downtrend because it just couldn't go above the 10-day, and also it's like bound by that 10-day now. Yeah, so I don't know. We'll have to see. Manpower took a position on this, um, and I think it was holding them. So I have a whole. I bought a lot of stocks on Thursday. Unfortunately, it turns out I think it was like it was going down the whole day, right? I think around like between 10 and 12, I bought a whole bunch of stock. I said, hey, maybe it's time for the market to bounce. It never did. Okay, so a lot of them I have very tight stop. Some of like most of them got shaken out, but this is yeah, I don't. I think maybe I got shaken out of this. I don't know. So because it did hit a low on Friday. Yeah, I probably got shaken out. If it hit a low, I usually get shaken out. Sometimes it won't execute because maybe it's at the end of the day. So I don't know. But it did come back down. Okay, you know what? I have this arrow here, so it means it got shaken out. Unfortunately. Um, yeah, but it's still a good stock. 50, 70, 80. Really strong quarterly. Like these are very consistent, high double digits. Um, even sales, right? Around 50, average 50. Those are really good numbers. Um, it's a nice cup base. Yeah. Really good. Well, I like this stuff. It hasn't done much until this recent, right? But it also not the worst chart. Consider we had a bear market, so surprisingly, 22% growth next quarter, stable. But again, maybe they'll beat, right? So it might be even higher. It's hard to say. So last quarter, it beat by only 1% extra. Okay, so yeah. 10B compute. Okay, so I know there's some security stocks moving up, moving up. 10B is one of them that just reported. Let's see. Look at the numbers. It's starting to really show, right? 100% growth. So yeah, let's see what the next quarter look like. Oh, okay. This is negative, unfortunately. Not good. Um, yeah. So I'm very stuck on the principle that I have to see positive earnings. Um, that's just me. So I wouldn't get into this now. I have to make a note to remove this. It must have changed recently. Probably in the yeah. Let's look at end phase. I know I have it here, but we never look at it yet. It's probably down on the list. Um, yeah, and it's not even building a nice base. Like the biggest problem with this stock is below the 50-day, and then it's now below the 200-day. Both are really negative. I don't know why. And even on Friday, look at this. Like I mean, sorry, even on this week, look at the highest volume selling ever. Right now, sometimes that could be the low. Okay, so watch next week and see if the buying comes back up, because I notice every time we see the largest volume since base one, which is like back here. So it's the highest volume. It could shake out so many people that everyone gave up, and then usually some stocks do this. They will go back up from there on. Okay, so watch for that. Don't give up yet, but it's definitely not good right now. But again, we'll watch for the technical indicators, right? This could be the bottom. I don't know. We'll see, but I wouldn't count on that until I see evidence, right? So for me, you see my high here is at the 50-day. For me, I always buy above all the trend lines, except when they're trending upward. The only exception rule is the 200-day. If the 200-day is trending downward, you have to understand 200 days is a long time, 1 year, right? So if it's still trending down, it's okay. But usually 10-21-day minimum has to be trending upward and has to be above 50-day. The stock price has to be above 50-day. It might still be going downward like this, it's fine. But let's say give it another, let's just say this is going to play out this way. It's going to shoot up roughly around here, and it's going to shoot up above here. That I will take, a position right there. Right. So we'll see. Because the fundamentals are incredible. I don't know what's going on with this stock, honestly. Look at next quarter, 49%. That's still big numbers. I honestly don't know who's selling this stuff. Like the numbers are really strong. Look at these numbers on the fund institution ownership. Like it's growing like crazy. So I don't know what's happening, but the numbers are superb. So again, it didn't participate, just like SMCI didn't participate in the January run. It got even worse. I don't know. I didn't follow the fundamental on the earnings call. Um, so I'm not sure what's happening there. But obviously, we saw this reversal. But sometimes, like I said, you can see the volume is so high. Everyone put a stop here, and everyone got shaken out. And sometimes when it's the highest volume ever, it goes counter, it goes the opposite, right? But give it some time, we'll see. Yeah, but yeah, I don't know why, but yeah, just it's down on the list here, but it has, yeah, exactly. So, but it's on the downtrend. Um, I don't buy stocks in the downtrend, so we'll see. But when it comes back up, it has the fundamental. It just doesn't have a technical strength up. So um, let's see what other stocks we can chat about. We have about 15 more minutes. 10B, we talk about that. CHX again, we already looked at that. I don't know why it didn't bounce up strong on Friday. IDXX, some medical stocks are starting to move on Friday as well, which is also interesting because they've been on a they also didn't participate on no, it's more they're more defensive, right? So because last year they did well, most of them, but this year this was one of the few ones that's still holding up pretty good. Um, you see this run right here goes up, goes sideways, except for this one day that probably shook out a lot of people, um, unfortunately. But then it bounced back and closed at the top, like near the top, above the 10-day. So this stock is holding up really strong after this run here. Look at volume drying up. Yeah, I'm gonna add this to my. So I have to move my high alert down here because now it gives me a better entry. 488.89. Yeah. So yeah, I would highlight this one. Um, yeah, bank stock TBBK. I think it's doing pretty well. Actually, you know what? Let me go to yeah. Okay, that's fine. TBBK. Oops. Yeah. So this one is pulling back really tight. Look at this one. This, yeah, this is amazing. This is like classic textbook, like dry up volume. This is like, yeah. So this is the big bounce of the EPS. Um, and it kind of went sideways a little bit, like it's holding above this breakout point. Like it never came back and even tested, and then it slowly moved up, and now it's pulling back on again very low volume. Yeah, this is good. Very good technical. Oops, sorry, show you the fundamentals. Yeah, so this is accelerating growth here. I don't know what happened to this. Oh, this sales number. I don't know why it doesn't show. It's missing the sales number. But look at next quarter. TBBK 52%. Wow, that's good. So it's growing at 50% earnings. That's good. Those are good fundamentals. Yeah. Uh, yeah, it's not bad. Institution ownership right here, 400. It's not growing fast though. Um, but it broke out right here, the all-time new high. Not many stocks are breaking out to new high. Yeah, but this is one of the few. So I think this is good stock. Yeah, BDC, telecom. Yeah, this one shot up on this week. Look at these numbers. Yeah, TPR, tap. This is clothing. So it fell on the earnings, but it closed near the top. It's not that strong fundamentals, but it's in the right area. Talk about new R, MBR. This is another commodity. This one did well, I think, because I remember taking my, yeah, it kind of went up and then came back down. I don't know what happened, but um, yeah, it went up, came back down pretty fast. Oh wow. Yeah, but the earnings are kind of not the strongest. It's probably a slight improvement. This I don't know, but ATI. Oh, this is a really strong one because some people talk about it. Yeah, look at this one. Look at these numbers. Really strong, really strong. This is in the steel. Um, that's interesting, right? Like a lot of the precious metals, like steel, especially, like I don't know, they're doing really well. So how is that possible to have a recession and steel's doing that well? That's what Jim Roper said, right? So what was that? Um, sorry, what were we looking at again? Oh yeah, ATI. What? Yeah, just looking at the okay, 23%. Yeah, it's not bad. It's you know, still growing. But you see this one is really tight action. Nice chart. Um, again, broke out, really strong fundamentals, strong institution sponsorship, 5 billion cap. Yeah, this is doing really well. I missed this boat. Like this would be a good long-term one just because it's just really nice. Um, yeah, we'll see. Perry. Okay, so this name keeps showing up. Um, IBD also talked about it on Friday. Oh, okay, it didn't do that well on the earnings call, but the numbers are strong. So we'll see. We'll see if this bounce back. Um, yeah, but it looks not bad. Perry. Yeah, 16%. It's kind of on the low side. Okay. I want to see if there's an MCHP. Yeah, this one's not bad. MCHP. P. Yeah, really strong earnings. Fall back this week. It's not. I think it's okay. Like stocks falling back this week, especially after that run last week. 20%. Okay, it's okay. C-Day, Natty. This one is really strong. Let's take a look at that one. Natty, I think it went, yeah, it has a huge jump. It's pulling back now, but look at how tight this is. Like even this is a weekly chart. That's crazy tight. Um, Earnings kind of low digits. I don't know the story behind this. That was a big jump. 22% growth. Okay. It's better than the last few quarters, the forecast. So maybe something's happening. Let's look at the daily chart here. Yeah, it's really tight. Wow, two jump. So I missed this one. I should have bought into it, but I missed this one. So look at how tight this is. Is volume drying up? Not really. That's a little bit of a danger. So yeah, it might fall further because look at how far is above this 50-day now. Um, so, but I don't know. It's interesting stuff. Airlines, I think airlines have dropped quite a bit, but you never know. They might bounce back. So on the weekly chart, it looks okay, like really tight. Yeah, volume starting to dry up here, and I don't know. It could work. This is a strong run, a 10, 11-day run. Um, Anytime you see 10, 11-day run, you should take some profit. That's just my rule of thumb. You should always take some profit when you see such a strong run. Um, and then, if you like it, you don't have to sell everything if you're a medium term holder. Um, you can sell some and then, buy it back maybe at a cheaper price. And that's what's happening. So, yeah. But this one, yeah, they took like airlines, casinos, they're all turning around right now. Um, you know, so last year it was big down, right? -$4. So this quarter, 100%. So it's gonna be positive because it's over 100%. Um, you know, not super strong, but at least it's improving from a big loss to positive. So yeah, so that's the airline. BKR, another oil machinery. This one is on my list. Let's look at it quickly. Um, yeah, like this week it was up. So anything that's up this week, I think it's good to pay attention. Um, because but this is oil, so again, this is one of the few stocks that as oil went down, it didn't go down. It went more sideways, right here. And now as the oil goes up, it's moving up. So um yeah. The only problem, like look at here, the only problem is that I don't see any blue volume bar. So that's the only problem here. Yeah, but it's price wise it's doing okay. Volume wise not so much. So 32.99. Let me reactivate this. Yeah. So I don't know. We'll see if the oil will start to move again. Uber, yeah, Uber did okay. Like Lyft didn't do well. I'm surprised. Usually they move together, but not this case. But it did kind of, it went up and then kind of closed at the lower range near the breakout point. So it's retesting the buy point. Earnings. Where's the earnings? So it's 98%. It's not quite positive because it was a negative quarter last year. So, you know, they're just not losing as much money. Um, I think Lyft is not doing so well because of their guidance. So where's Uber? But they both fell back, following the market. It ran. Look at this run, right? I think that day, yeah, it was up a lot. So now it's pulling back. It might be worth following this, because it has a nice run. So, and I don't know what different about them than Lyft, like why they do so much better. I don't know. But maybe again, could be turnaround story, right? Um, just like all the consumer discretionary. Yumsy, or another chain of restaurants. Uh, VVV, this one chemical specialty. Cat, machinery. NVT, this one, I don't remember what happened. I somehow missed. Like, I got shaken out, I think. It broke out this week. There's an electrical power equipment. Yeah, it broke out this week. And yeah, okay. Okay, I guess I took my gains. Um, yeah, but look at how strong, how tight right here. Unbelievable tight. Again, I don't know what's the story behind this, but earnings was good. Market likes it. It's breaking out right now. I took my gains, and right now it's holding so tight. It's probably worth re-entering, but 10 days is pretty far off right now. So we'll see. Market went down Thursday, Friday, but this two, like I said, it just didn't want to come down. Um, so it could have more room to run. And no one talk about this stock. I like stocks that no one talk about and they're running up because they're less susceptible to pullbacks. Because so one stock that I don't know if you follow this stock. Everyone was looking at this stock and then boom, it just had this huge shakeout right here. It broke out and everyone's talking about it. It's trading really tight, right, on an uptrend, and all of a sudden this happened. So um, now it's staying below the 10 day. That's not good. So it's fine if it has those shakeout, and it should bounce back right away. But this is not. So something is not right. So because there was a story behind this that this is they make like taser guns and stuff for security, and supposedly they make something I can't remember. I didn't read it, but it was on IBD article, and they have something new, some product is new, but this is not acting right. Technical pictures telling a different story than the fundamental story. But yeah, MVT is worth watching. SoFi had a good report. Again, it's pulling back like a lot of the archetypal stocks. AYX did really well on Friday. It also pulled back. All the tech stocks pulled back. See, it's so hard to buy on stocks breaking out right now because of the market condition, right? So that's one thing. If I have to say, there's one thing to learn in the last whole bear market, this is one of them too. Is that when the market is on a downtrend, it's very hard to buy on breakouts because they will always pull back. But in January, when market was doing well, every breakout was working. Well, most of them, 80-90% was working. But now February turns around, it's like the opposite now again. Every breakout was like not working, and not yeah. So SoFi was one of them. I think it broke out, and then now it's even below. Like, look how far it went below now. Like, it's crazy. So it broke out here on the earnings. I took a position, you can see, and took my gains pretty quick. And then it went up more. And then look at it now. It's like so far down now. It looks small in here, but it's pretty big percentage. Yeah. So MBO, another health stock. So health stocks are coming back, which makes sense because they're more defensive, and as market pulls back. So I don't know if there's a rotation happening. That's another weird thing that I find. Because if health starts starting to like move again, that will be a rotation back into health, which is not good for the growth. Whereas January, most of them are pulling back. Look at this pullback, pretty strong. So I don't know. Let's look at some of them more. See, big pullback in January. Now it's climbing back, right? So it almost coincides with the growth market versus the defensive market. Okay, I think we're good with stocks now. Let's look at UUP, US dollar. This is not good. It's now leaving above the 50-day. So US dollar is getting stronger, which is not good for most markets. I think most emerging markets that were doing well now has come back down. So let's look at China. See, China is pulling back, but they're at a critical junction, right? 30. So critical junction here. Let's look at Mexico. Let's see. I think Mexico is one of the stronger ones too. EWW or EWM maybe. Oh, this is Malaysia. I think maybe EWW. This EW Mexico, yeah. So this one is one of the stronger ones. It's pulling back. So they all the emerging markets are pulling back right now because of the US dollar. We already look at oil price. It's going up, back up. So these are not good, right, for the growth markets, the growth area. Yeah, I think that was it.